Let's talk about Steven Spielberg's new film Disclosure Day, which is going to be, I believe, the summer blockbuster of the year. This is without a doubt Steven Spielberg at his best and giving us what we've known him to be able to give. So I'm going to talk about the film, no spoilers whatsoever. Do not worry about that, I gotcha. I will do a spoiler-filled video later on, so stay tuned for that by hitting the subscribe button, notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our videos. Also follow us on Letterboxd or TikTok or Instagram. We're trying to grow over there a bit too. So let's get into Disclosure Day and everything that I just absolutely loved. A couple of hiccups here and there, but ultimately I think this might be Steven Spielberg's most important film and truly a top 5 if not top 3 in his filmography. Let's get into it. The film basically revolves around a group of people who are trying to help uncover and reveal a truth about the life forms that is aliens or non-humans in our society that have been here for decades. There's a company out there that doesn't want these secrets to be let out, and this company has worked with the government to keep it all covered. That is until a whistleblower by the name of Daniel, played by Josh O'Connor, decides that it is time for the world to know the truth, that there is in fact alien life for decades being covered up and also technology that's being used by these covert companies. We have him here trying to get the truth out, and a meteorologist played by Emily Blunt named Margaret will cross paths with him, and the world will never be the same after this movie. So let's get into what I really think is the strongest part about this film, and that is going to be Emily Blunt's performance as Margaret. I think Emily Blunt completely knocks it out of the park here. Her best performance to date, the best performance of the year so far. I am telling you, you are looking at your first Oscar nominated actress right here for sure. Like, I would put her already there. She is going to be nominated for this and potentially win. We'll see what else comes up, but honestly, there is a sequence in this film that I cannot stop thinking about. Watching it in the film moved me so much, and I think that Emily Blunt just has a tremendous talent, and I'm excited to see more people's reactions to it, and I want to see it again because it is just the way she delivers this sequence, this performance. It's just no words, honestly. And this character is so complex as well, has so much nuance to it that it is very difficult, I feel, to get it right, but Blunt does it so well here. Like, Margaret is a character that has so many feelings that just juxtapose each other, and you know, it is a thing where she has to go from one thing to another in such a 180, and it's beautifully crafted here. The way that it's delivered, the way that it's handled, I think that it is just intense, honestly, and one of the best performances I've seen in a while. I think Colman Domingo here shines as well, honestly, as Hugo. Hugo being a character that knows so much but yet is so open to learning more. A character with so much heart, a warm factor to him is what really elevates him. He has a monologue he delivers in the, I would say, third act of this movie that is just so potent, and the way he delivers it, I think Colman just has a intense delivery as an actor. When he's talking, you listen, and he really has a power that draws your attention to him onto the screen, and it is just beautiful to see in each film. And I think here in Disclosure Day, it was such a great way to present it with the type of character he's playing, and I think Spielberg captured movie magic with him, honestly, as well as with Emily Blunt. I think the rest of the cast are great when they're all working together. I would have wanted to see a bit more from Colin Firth's character here, who is playing like the main villain, who is the head of this company. I think that this character has some terrifying moments for sure, and they were great to see, but there were some moments where you get a more vulnerable side to him, and I wish the film explored that a bit more in order to give us a bit of a more three-dimensional character than just like a flat stock villain. And that's kind of what this character felt like to me for most of the time, where I think that they had a like recipe to give us something more, and it sort of like fell flat a bit. I wish they did give us a bit more of this character Colin Firth is playing. Otherwise, it just felt like a cartoonish villain by the end. I think also Josh O'Connor here as a lead, playing the character of Daniel, who is the whistleblower, just feels more like the messenger, more like the exposition character than anything else. And that's where I kind of was just like, I think maybe then we should have focused more on Colman's character. You know, there are little things here and there where I can be a little bit nitpicky with the characters, but this movie was already at 2.5 hours. It was going to be insane for me to expect more to be given. Maybe as a TV show, it could have worked a lot better, but still, as a film overall, it is still incredible. It's just me being a bit nitpicky with these characters just because I expected a little bit more, and the film kind of teased you about it, and then it just didn't do anything else with them. But as an overall cast, tremendous, incredible. I think John Williams' score here also really elevates this film, gives it that very old school summer vibe as well from a blockbuster that you would see in the early 2000s or 90s, even 80s. That is what John Williams does here. And I've seen some people kind of complain about that it kind of feels like an older film. But at the same time, I think that it does have a very good balance of feeling older but new at the same time, which is great in my opinion. I think what Spielberg here is getting with David Koepp, who helped him write the screenplay, because Spielberg actually wrote this story back in 2023. And it does feel like a film that was written in 2023, especially with the fear of World War III, doomsday from our own selves, right? With war and all of that. It is a film that still feels as relevant as it did probably when Spielberg wrote it, if not more. A film about the lack of communication, probably leading to our downfall if we let it. And I really did appreciate what Spielberg is trying to convey here about maybe sometimes we just have to sit and listen and talk to each other. And it might be a kind of like quote unquote naive thing to say, but I think he is right. It is this misunderstanding between one another that eventually leads to us having our own doomsday as well. There's a lot here too with the press, the freedom of the press and censorship that I think Spielberg's getting at, and I'll talk more about that in my spoiler video, so stay tuned for that because I don't want to give too much away. But I really did think that this is probably one of Spielberg's most politically charged and important films to date, just because he really is trying to get to the root of what exactly is corrupting our world today. I think the cinematography from Janusz Kaminski as well is something to really love. There is so much here that feels so futuristic, yet there are scenes where it feels so warm and homey. And I think that that's really what adds more to this film, because at times it can feel cold, it can feel distant, but other times it feels warm and close and like you can almost grasp it. And I think that that's just incredible to see. These shots as well of the characters, it's almost like you're being pulled into the screen to feel these emotional states. But when it comes to the action sequences, you are there just holding your breath, because I think Spielberg and the rest of the team are able to create a sense of urgency. He's able to contain the action, but when he wants to let it explode, he lets it explode in this almost rhythmic level that I just found so enticing. And there is a train scene that I am just not gonna forget ever. I want to rewatch that again because it took the breath out of me, because it is just done in a way that you're just there wondering what comes next. And like when you watch a movie, you're just like, they're gonna make it, right? And at the back of your head, you're always thinking that, but you're just like, how are they gonna make it? And it's just that intense feeling of fear for these characters that you've grown more close to as you see the story progress, and you're just rooting for them. And I think they did a great job at doing that. Overall, I think the film is going to be one of those movies I'll never forget. I remember watching Jurassic Park on a small CER TV and really just falling in love with what Spielberg was doing here. And then watching my first Spielberg film on the big screen, which was AI, and seeing him combine everything he did with spectacle, with wonder, but also with a ton of heart. And I see that again with Disclosure Day, because the climax of this film almost feels like an anti-climax in comparison to a lot of summer blockbusters or action movies, right? Because I'm not trying to say that nothing happens, but it is so contained and it is so more about the emotional feeling than actual visceral action that you're just there just taking it all in. And all of these emotions you feel throughout the film just start to swell up and you just cannot help but to tear up. I thought it was just beautifully done, and the final shot, the final word that's uttered here is just so impactful. And I won't give it away because I think it's just an incredible thing to see, especially with the build-up the whole movie has from beginning to the very end. Beautifully done. I think Disclosure Day should be watched on the biggest, loudest screen you can. I watched it in RPX. Incredible stuff. Sound design is on point. Visuals, acting is fantastic. Directing, everything. This is truly Spielberg at his best. Truly his most important film to date. And I think you shouldn't miss it at all. So definitely check out Disclosure Day if you have the opportunity on the big screen. Opening night, full theater. My theater, pin could be heard drop in those last 10 minutes. That is just how impactful it was. I'm curious to hear your thoughts once you watch it. Stay tuned for my spoiler thoughts on it as well. And make sure you follow us wherever you can, whether it's here on YouTube, Letterboxd, TikTok, or Instagram, all provided here. Make sure you follow us there, and I'll see all of you next time. As always, stay safe, stay positive.